The narrative surrounding Anna Nicole Smith is often reduced to sensational headlines, labeling her a gold digger or greedy. In reality, her story is a rich tapestry of struggles and aspirations. Born Vicki Lynn Hogan on November 28, 1967, in Houston, Texas, Anna hailed from a modest background. Her parents' divorce left her growing up largely independent in the small town of Mexia. Despite her ambitions, school was a challenge, leading her to drop out by 10th grade at just 14. In pursuit of a better life, she worked various jobs, including waitressing, and eventually took up dancing at strip clubs, spurred by financial necessity. At 17, she married Billy Wayne Smith, a relationship that turned controlling and isolating, prompting her to leave with their son Daniel after less than a year. Transitioning to life in Houston proved daunting, yet Anna continued to strive for success. Nearly 2 decades after her untimely death, her daughter Danny Lynn now shares her mother's multifaceted legacy and hints of her ongoing presence, suggesting the departed Anna still watches over her loved ones. In 1992, Anna Nicole Smith made a life-altering decision by sending nude photos to Playboy magazine, which led to her rapid rise from poverty to fame. Hugh Hefner recognized her unique appeal, and by March, she graced the magazine's cover, marking the beginning of a controversial yet glamorous chapter in her life. Her pursuit of wealth eventually connected her with oil tycoon J. Howard Marshall, igniting media frenzy that shaped her legacy. Despite the ups and downs, Anna remained a woman with aspirations beyond her small-town beginnings. Her daughter, Danny Lynn, is now bringing forth a different perspective on her mother's misunderstood life, suggesting that Anna's story of ambition and tragedy continues through her. Resembling Marilyn Monroe and boasting striking beauty, Anna became a notable figure, awarded Playmate of the Year in 1993, firmly establishing her in modeling history. Her newfound fame replaced her earlier struggles in fast food and strip clubs with glamorous events and magazine covers. A pivotal moment came when Paul Marciano of Guess Jeans offered her a modeling contract, leading to her reinvention as Anna Nicole Smith and iconic campaigns that challenged the fashion industry's standards at the time. This marked the beginning of Anna Nicole's journey to fame. Her early modeling success led to significant opportunities with international brands like H&M and Lane Bryant, broadening her influence. However, Anna's dreams extended into Hollywood, where she made her acting debut in 1994, featuring as Tanya Peters in the comedy Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult, alongside Leslie Nielsen. Though the film was a success, her performance received mixed reviews, and she was nominated for Worst New Star at the Golden Raspberry Awards. Additionally, she appeared in a minor role in the critically acclaimed The Hudsucker Proxy that same year. Despite facing criticism, Anna continued to establish herself as a brand. In 1993, she starred in a major H&M campaign, promoting a new standard of beauty that embraced curvier models. Her controversial partnership with Trim Spa kept her in the limelight, notwithstanding the legal troubles it incurred. A pivotal moment in her public life occurred in October 1991, when she met billionaire J. Howard Marshall II at Gigi's strip club. This age-discrepant relationship sparked media frenzy and set the stage for the tumultuous and tragic chapters of Anna Nicole's life. This pivotal meeting marked the beginning of a whirlwind that would define Anna Nicole Smith's legacy, filled with fame, controversy, and an insatiable drive for more. J. Howard Marshall had endured personal loss before meeting Anna Nicole Smith. Earlier that year, he'd lost both his wife and his longtime mistress, a double blow that left him reeling. Seeking solace, his driver suggested a night out to lift his spirits, and it was there, at Gigi's strip club in Houston, that he first laid eyes on Anna. At the time, Anna Nicole was still known by her birth name, Vicki Lynn Hogan, and her life had been far from glamorous. Born and raised in Texas, she had dropped out of high school, taking on various jobs to support herself and her young son, Daniel. She'd worked at places like Red Lobster and Jim's Crispy Fried Chicken, always dreaming of a life beyond her small-town reality. That night at Gigi's, she danced to Lady in Red, and something about her caught Marshall's eye. The next day, he invited her to lunch, and before she left, he handed her $1,000 and told her not to return to the club. What followed was a whirlwind of lavish gifts and promises. Marshall, enamored with Anna, bought her a red Mercedes, draped her in jewelry, and began sending her a monthly allowance of $4,000 for what he called consulting. He proposed to her repeatedly, but Anna didn't immediately say yes. By then, her modeling career was taking off. In 1992, she posed for Playboy, and the following year she was named Playmate of the Year, her career catapulting her into the spotlight. Yet despite her newfound fame, Marshall was relentless in his pursuit, and on June 27, 1994, they married at the White Dove Wedding Chapel in Houston. The wedding was a low-key affair, attended by only 11 people. Anna, 26, wore a satin gown with a plunging neckline, while Marshall, 89, sat in a wheelchair. Anna's 8-year-old son served as the ring-bearer. This was Anna's second marriage. She had married Billy Wayne Smith at 17, but that union had ended years earlier. For Marshall, it was his third marriage. His second wife had died of Alzheimer's in 1991 after 30 years together. The ceremony itself was brief, lasting only minutes, and afterward, Anna rushed off for a photo shoot, leaving Marshall behind. The image of him sitting in his wheelchair, tears in his eyes, made an indelible impression on the public. To many, it seemed like a one-sided affair, proof that Anna was only interested in Marshall for his wealth. The media quickly labeled her a gold digger, a characterization that haunted her throughout her life. Even a federal judge later referred to their relationship as a mix of need, greed, and lust. However, Anna always denied these claims. In a 2002 interview with Larry King, she defended their marriage, stating that Marshall had given her more than just money. He had offered her love and respect. She claimed she had turned him down several times before finally agreeing to marry him because she wanted to establish herself independently first. But there was a catch. Despite his promises, Marshall never put anything in writing regarding his fortune, and his will made no mention of her at all. Anna, who had believed she was marrying for financial security, was about to face a cruel reality. Just 14 months after their wedding on August 4, 1995, Marshall died at the age of 90, leaving Anna with little more than memories and the pain of being excluded from his will. What she had hoped would be a ticket to wealth and stability turned into a fight for her share of Marshall's estate, a battle that would continue for years and ultimately find its way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Her marriage to Marshall had, in many ways, set the stage for the public's perception of her, a perception that would stick with her long after his death. What followed was one of the longest, most bitter legal battles in history, a courtroom drama that captivated the nation. Anna Nicole Smith, once the blonde bombshell of Playboy, was now fighting for what she believed was rightfully hers, half of the fortune amassed by her late husband, J. Howard Marshall. Marshall, a billionaire with a stake in Koch Industries worth over $1.6 billion, had left her out of his will, despite her claims that he had promised her a share of his wealth in exchange for marriage. His son, E. Pierce Marshall, fiercely denied these allegations, arguing that the will was final and that Anna Nicole had no claim to the estate. But Anna wasn't alone in her fight. Another of Marshall's sons, J. Howard Marshall III, had also been excluded from the will after attempting to gain control of Koch Industries. He too had been promised a share of the fortune, but like Anna, he got nothing. As the legal battles raged on, Anna's financial situation began to deteriorate. In 1996, she was hit with a court-ordered payment of $850,000 after losing a sexual harassment lawsuit filed by her son's former nanny. Unable to afford the hefty sum, She filed for bankruptcy in California, and her ongoing case with Marshall's estate became tangled up in the proceedings. Then, in 2000, Anna Nicole scored a major victory. A Los Angeles bankruptcy judge awarded her nearly $450 million, citing the increased value of Marshall's shares in Koch Industries during their marriage. The win, however, was short-lived. A Texas probate judge ruled against her the following year, declaring that she was entitled to nothing and ordering her to pay E. Pierce Marshall over $1 million in legal fees. The case quickly became a complex maze of contradictory rulings, forcing it into federal court. In 2002, a federal judge reduced her award to $88 million, but 2 years later, an appeals court tossed it out, ruling that federal judges had no authority to override a state probate court decision. The case had reached its limits until the U.S. Supreme Court took the rare step of intervening. In 2006, the Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling in her favor. Although the decision, written by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, didn't grant her any money, it did confirm that she could continue her fight in federal court. It was a step forward, but the battle was far from over. The decision was a momentary triumph in what had become a grueling, years-long legal saga. Amidst this tumultuous chapter, Anna Nicole's personal life remained under a public microscope. In August 2002, The Anna Nicole Show debuted on the E! Network, and it quickly became a sensation. Audiences were drawn to the chaotic and often tragic reality of Anna's life, once the face of Playboy, now grappling with personal and financial crises. The show became the highest-rated program on E! During its first season, proving that the public couldn't look away from her unraveling story. At times, the show was undeniably entertaining, filled with bizarre and unpredictable moments, like Anna trying to control her unruly dog or clashing with her eccentric interior decorator, Bobby Trendy. But beneath the scripted chaos was a painful reality. The cameras captured Anna as she struggled with the fallout of her excessive spending and ongoing legal battles. Her teenage son, Daniel, often appeared visibly uncomfortable as his mother's life became an open spectacle. Critics were quick to slam the show, accusing it of exploiting Anna's personal struggles for entertainment value. Yet for many it was a window into the very real challenges she faced, an attempt to regain some control and dignity in a life that had spiraled out of control. In some ways, the show highlighted her humanity, her desire to be loved, and her desperate need for validation, even as her fame and her personal battles continued to spiral. The Anna Nicole Show drew harsh criticism, with many decrying it as an abomination that exploited Smith's personal turmoil for entertainment. Notable voices, including Jon Stewart, condemned the program, and viewers couldn't help but notice the erratic behavior that seemed to signal deeper issues. Her slurred speech and bizarre actions led to speculation that she was intoxicated, and later reports suggested that producers had fueled her hyperactive persona by supplying her with large amounts of Red Bull. Far from providing her with any assistance, the show only magnified her struggles, turning her personal pain into a spectacle for public consumption. Despite the growing controversy, The Anna Nicole Show continued for 2 years, finally concluding in 2004. By that point, Anna Nicole had become a punchline, a subject of mockery. Every move she made was fodder for the tabloids, and her public appearances seemed more like tragic moments than triumphs. At the 2004 MTV Video Music Awards, she stumbled onto the stage, slurred her words, and asked the audience, "Do you like my body?" It was a moment that was supposed to be funny, but anyone watching could see that she was clearly struggling. Smith's battle with addiction was no secret. She had been known to take prescription drugs like Valium and chloral hydrate, substances that would eventually contribute to her untimely death from an overdose in 2007. The show put her personal chaos on display, but rather than helping her, it only seemed to push her deeper into self-destruction. Even her son Daniel, who often appeared uncomfortable on camera, looked trapped in the surreal world of a reality show that turned his mother's pain into a form of entertainment. Despite her downward spiral, Anna Nicole shared some big news on June 1st, 2006, revealing on her website that she was pregnant. Months later, on September 7th, she gave birth to a daughter, Dannylyn, in the Bahamas. However, the identity of the baby's father sparked a bitter paternity battle. Howard K. Stern, her lawyer and companion, claimed to be the father, and his name appeared on the birth certificate. Yet, celebrity photographer Larry Birkhead disputed Stern's claim, filing a lawsuit and insisting that he was Dannylyn's biological father. Things became even more complicated when two other men entered the fray. Zsa Gabor's husband, Frederick Prince von Anhalt, suggested he might be the father, while Anna's former bodyguard and chef, Alexander Denk, also made similar claims. As the paternity fight gained widespread media attention, troubling new details about Anna's pregnancy began to surface. Reports indicated that while she was 8 months pregnant, Smith had been prescribed methadone under a false name. The California Medical Board opened an investigation into the matter, but the doctor who had prescribed the methadone defended his decision, asserting that it was necessary for Smith's treatment. Despite the controversy, a U.S. judge ordered DNA tests to resolve the issue. But before the legal proceedings could come to a conclusion, tragedy struck. On February 8, 2007, Anna Nicole Smith was found unresponsive in a hotel room in Florida. She was rushed to the hospital, but tragically it was too late. She had died from an overdose of prescription drugs. Immediately, Larry Birkhead's attorney demanded an emergency DNA sample from her body, hoping to put the paternity dispute to rest once and for all. However, the judge refused, ordering that Anna's body be preserved until February 20th. After weeks of legal wrangling, DNA results were finally released in April 2007. A Bahamian judge ruled that Larry Birkhead was, indeed, Dannylyn's biological father, officially ending the paternity battle that had so captivated the public. Though Anna Nicole Smith's life had been filled with tabloid headlines and legal battles, her death marked the tragic end of a turbulent and often painful story. In the years since, her legacy remains a complex one, a mix of fame, addiction, love, loss, and a relentless battle for what she believed was hers. The public's fascination with her life and its ultimate tragedy has never truly faded. Larry Birkhead quickly moved to amend Dannylyn's birth certificate and secure a passport, determined to bring his daughter to the United States. Howard K. Stern did not contest the ruling, but there was one final hurdle. Anna Nicole's mother, Vi Arthur, attempted to challenge the decision, hoping to gain custody of her granddaughter. The court rejected her appeal and even ordered her to pay legal fees. With that, Birkhead was free to bring Dannylyn home, but the damage had already been done. Just 3 days after Anna Nicole gave birth to her daughter on September 7, 2006, tragedy struck once more. On September 10th, her 20-year-old son, Daniel Wayne Smith, died unexpectedly while visiting his mother in the hospital. He had come to meet his newborn half-sister but never left. The cause of death was later determined to be a combination of methadone and antidepressants. A Bahamian jury ruled the death as an accidental overdose, and his death certificate was issued on September 21, 2006. No criminal charges were filed. Daniel was laid to rest on October 19th at Lakeview Cemetery in New Providence. Anna was shattered by the loss. Daniel had been the center of her world. She had raised him alone, playing the roles of both mother and father. At his funeral, she even insisted that the coffin be opened so she could climb inside, unable to part with him. "If Daniel has to be buried, I want to be buried with him," she said. Stern later remarked that in many ways, Anna had already died with Daniel that day. In the midst of her profound grief, something unexpected took place. On September 28th, Anna and Howard K. Stern held a private commitment ceremony in the Bahamas. They exchanged vows and rings in a symbolic but not legal gesture, officiated by a Baptist minister. Though some questioned the timing of the ceremony, Anna's attorney later explained that it was something they needed to hold on to after the chaos and heartbreak they had endured. The photos of the ceremony were sold to People magazine for a reported $1 million. By this time, Anna had settled in the Bahamas, a move that sparked even more controversy. Some speculated that she was avoiding a paternity test for her newborn daughter, while others believed she was seeking refuge from the tumult of her life in the United States. In late 2006, Immigration Minister Shane Gibson granted her permanent residency in the Bahamas. Soon after, a local newspaper published a photo of Anna lying in bed, fully clothed, in an embrace with Gibson. The public backlash was swift and intense, leading to Gibson's resignation. But the turmoil didn't end there. On February 8, 2007, Anna Nicole Smith was found unresponsive in her hotel room at the Seoul Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Florida. Her bodyguard and his wife, a registered emergency nurse, attempted to revive her with CPR before paramedics rushed her to Memorial Regional Hospital in Hollywood. Unfortunately, by the time doctors arrived, Anna was pronounced dead. She was just 39 years old. Her sudden death triggered a thorough investigation by Broward County Medical Examiner Joshua Perper. The world was left to process the tragic end of a woman whose life had been as chaotic as it was captivating. Anna Nicole's passing left behind a complex legacy of fame, addiction, and relentless legal battles, a reminder of how fleeting celebrity can be and how tragedy can strike even those who seem invincible. The investigation into Anna Nicole Smith's death continued to unfold as forensic experts worked to uncover the truth behind her tragic passing. Broward County Medical Examiner Joshua Perper, along with independent forensic experts, determined that the cause of death was an accidental overdose. The primary drug in her system was chloral hydrate, a sedative, along with 4 benzodiazepines, diphenhydramine, and topiramate. Methadone, the drug linked to her son Daniel's death just months earlier, was found in her bile, suggesting that she had taken it 2 to 3 days before her death, but it wasn't a direct cause. The autopsy revealed other concerning health issues as well. Anna Nicole had abscesses on her skin, likely from previous injections of vitamin B12 and human growth hormone. She also had viral enteritis, which could have weakened her. Despite fears of influenza, tests for both influenza A and B came back negative. A troubling detail in the investigation was that out of the 11 drugs found in her system, 8 had been prescribed to Howard K. Stern, 2 were prescribed under the name Alex Katz, and the remaining one was written by her psychiatrist, Dr. Christine Aroshevich. The investigation confirmed that doctor. Aroshevich had been responsible for prescribing the majority of the medications. Anna Nicole's funeral took place on March 2, 2007, in the Bahamas, but her death only intensified the legal battles surrounding her estate. Her 2001 will, signed years before her daughter Danny-Lynn's birth, named her son Daniel as the sole beneficiary and made Howard K. Stern the executor of her estate. It also specifically excluded any future children, which left Danny-Lynn out of the inheritance. At the time of her death, her estate included personal property worth $10,000 and a house valued at $1.8 million, though it had a significant mortgage of $1.1 million. As the battle over her estate unfolded, Larry Burkhead, confirmed to be Danny-Lynn's father, became heavily involved in the fight. In 2008, Smith's mother, V. Arthur, filed a lawsuit against several media outlets, including TMZ, CBS, and Entertainment Tonight. She accused them of spreading false information about her and damaging her reputation, particularly regarding her efforts to gain custody or visitation rights for Danny-Lynn. The lawsuit became increasingly intense when a blogger refused to turn over evidence, leading to jail time. Ultimately, the case was dismissed, and the court ruled in favor of the media outlets. As for Danny, she has spent her life under the public microscope, but her father, Larry Burkhead, made a deliberate choice to raise her outside of Hollywood's chaotic spotlight. Despite the media frenzy that surrounded her early years, Danny has grown into a confident young woman with a unique sense of self. Now 18, she has embraced her individuality, notably celebrating her 18th birthday in September 2024 with a Beetlejuice-themed party, fully committing to a gothic glam style. She wore a dramatic spiderweb print dress with black lipstick, posing next to an actor dressed as Beetlejuice, showing her playful and confident side. Through it all, Danny has stayed true to herself, stepping into adulthood with ambition and a personality all her own. Larry Burkhead's pride in his daughter, Danny is evident in his heartfelt messages and the way he has carefully protected her from the chaos that surrounded her early years. As she grows into a young woman, Danny has continued to prioritize education and her future, focusing on a double major in forensic science and Japanese studies. Her interest in forensic science grew from her childhood curiosity and fascination with mystery and problem-solving, while Japanese studies became a passion after she encountered the language and culture in school. Though she has inherited her mother's creativity and flair for fashion, Danny is determined to carve her own path, far from the shadow of Nicole Smith's legacy. She has big dreams of launching her own cosmetics and clothing line, using her artistic vision and love for fashion. Despite a brief stint modeling at age 6 as a tribute to her late mother, Larry has been firm in keeping her childhood free from the pressures of the entertainment industry, turning down all modeling offers. Her life has been filled with love, laughter, and adventure. From attending concerts with Larry, including a memorable Duran Duran show, to their yearly Halloween costume traditions, they share a strong bond built on creativity and fun. Amusement parks are a favorite, and Danny daredevil spirit shines through as she rides roller coasters with no hands, insisting Larry not ruin the thrill. Privacy has always been a priority for Larry, who has taken steps to protect Danny from the public eye. He blocked internet searches on her devices when she was younger and kept her Instagram private, ensuring that she could grow up with some semblance of normalcy. At the same time, he has made sure she understands who her mother was, beyond the headlines and sensationalized media narratives. In a playful twist, Danny has found ways to keep things lighthearted, including trolling her dad with unflattering pictures, showing their close and trusting relationship. While Nicole's legacy still looms, her presence is felt in more subtle ways. Butterflies have become a symbol of connection between mother and daughter, a small but meaningful reminder that Anna is always near. A portrait of Anna hangs in Danny bedroom, a constant piece of her world. In 2025, both Larry and Danny made it clear they would not entertain false narratives about Nicole's death. When sensationalized claims resurfaced, they issued a statement asserting that they preferred to rely on credible sources. Amid the media circus, Danny has continued to focus on the things that bring her joy. One of her biggest dreams came true in January 2025 when Hugh Jackman invited her backstage after his Broadway show. Larry surprised her with front-row tickets to the show and even a life-sized cutout of Jackman, a joke that made the experience even more special. The viral video of the moment, where Hugh Jackman praised her energy, made it an unforgettable night. Through it all, Danny has managed to balance the normal teenage experience, going to amusement parks, keeping up with her studies, and staying connected with friends on Snapchat, while navigating the weight of being Nicole Smith's daughter. Despite the legacy that will always be tied to her name, she remains unshaken and confident. Larry, who watches her handle everything with grace, often finds himself in awe of her strength and resilience. constantly amazed by the way she navigates life.